everyone, welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. I am Assistant Professor Padma Deshpande. Today I am going to continue the topics which we have covered in our last session of quality management. This is in module 3, semester 4 of the subject known as production and total quality management. In the past, we have seen different concepts with regards to quality management. We have seen the different philosophies given by Demings. We have seen the philosophy given by Philip Crosby. We have seen Juran's trilogy of quality management. Then we have seen what is quality circle. Then I had told you about how quality can be improvised with the help of total quality management. What are the concepts of total quality management? What are the principles of total quality management? Then in quality management only we saw Ishikawa's fishbone diagram. Then we saw various concepts related to the total quality management. So continuing on this topic, today we have also seen lean philosophy in continuation of the quality management. Today we are going to try to understand what is Kepner-Trego methodology of problem solving. So Kepner-Trego methodology of problem solving is a method in which basically it helps in solving problems. Now what is a problem? Problem is a gap between the actual situation and the desired state. Means what was supposed to be achieved and what currently has been achieved. So problem is that in between stage. Now this methodology, problem solving methodology, was developed by two persons by the name of Charles Kepner and Benjamin Trego. That's why the name Kepner-Trego methodology. Now it is a problem which helps in the root cause analysis of a problem and it helps in decision making. मतलब जो problem है उसका main what is the root cause of the problem and how we can resolve that, how we can take unbiased rational decision on the basis of what is your priority. According to that, priorities can be set and accordingly the problem can be solved. So this focuses on problem solving. Now what are the steps in Kepner's methodology? The very first step is, he says that they have told that there should be a situation appraisal. So in the situation appraisal, what is done is the complex situation is broken into parts, like what is immediately required, what needs, what can be addressed at a later stage. So accordingly the priorities are set, that which is the priority task which needs to be completed and what are the other tasks which can be completed at a later stage. So break the complex situation into actionable priorities. Second thing is, the right people should be put for the right job. If a person who is good in computers, if he is given a task if he is asked to do certain work on the computer, he will be able to give a better output than a person who is good in clerical work. So or an accountancy work. Suppose if two people are there, for example, okay, there is an accountant and there is a computer operator. Now if the accountant is given a job to do something related to computer, he will take more time than a computer operator. On the other hand, if a computer operator is given something related to accounts, he will also take more time, or maybe he might not be able to do the task itself, because here the right person was not put to the right job. So if you want to get some printouts or if you want to generate some reports, the computer operator would be the best person to help you in getting the reports. So set the proper priority, who will be required and what is their immediate priority. Accordingly the plan of action can be planned. The second step that they have recommended is that find the root cause of the problem and try to correct it. You should, when you are trying to find out the root cause of the problem, you should try to find answers like what is the problem, what are the possible causes of the problem, where is the problem, and to what extent it is affecting the work. So why, what, when, how these kind of questions should be addressed in the in the problem analysis. In the third step, they have suggested that it is called as the decision analysis. So when you want to take a decision, what are things that you are expecting? So what will be the, if you are taking a decision, so what will be the desired outcome, or what will be the result, final result? To get to that result, what are the actions that needs to be taken? What are the must have, that is what is strategic, very important, without which your actions cannot be implemented. So what are the must haves? Then what are the wants that we want to have? Like what are the operational objectives, that what I want, this should be there so that I can reach my destination early. Then what are the restraints or limits in the system? Say for example, now I want to reach from a point A to point B. So for reaching from point A to point B, what are the sources or infrastructure that is available to me? At least one of the infrastructure has to be there. If I am going by road, then I should have a vehicle, proper vehicle with me, right? If I am traveling by flight, then I should be reaching on the time, specific time. Then if I am traveling by railways, I should have a confirmed ticket to travel to that place. So these are the must have. Then what are the operational objectives, like what I want to have? Suppose if I want to travel by road, then I will prefer having somebody in company with me, so that some other driver is also there, so that we can share the driving and I can reach my destination at a good time. If I am traveling by train, I would prefer traveling in the AC compartment, because at least I will be relaxed, I will be focused. Some of the work I can do in the train. If I want to go by flight, then I should be staying somewhere nearby to the airport, so that I don't have to travel much to the for reaching the airport, and from airport then again my destination is somewhere else. So these are the operational objectives. And what are the limits, or what are the limitations, restraints in the system? Like say for example, I want to reach from point A to point B. I want to, my first preference is I want to go by flight. But if what are the limitations? Like the flight ticket is very costly, or maybe the seats are unavailable. At that time, I will have to either make a choice of going by road, or I will have to go by the railways. So what are the restraints or limits in the system? So all this, before taking the decision, I need to list out all the alternatives. What are the potential, what will be the result, what are the potential problems or the negative effects that will be having if I choose one of the option. So all this analysis is done in the third step, that is the decision analysis. Then the fourth step is called as the opportunity analysis. This is basically one of the alternative which will be selected, and on that the potential, what are the problems, what are the negative consequences. Say for example, a person, one of the units in the plant, factory hai, in the factory one of the plant unit is not functioning properly, या फिर एक part of the factory है जो not performing है. Suppose उसको बंद करने का decision लेते हैं, तो वो बंद करने से बाकी के क्या effects हो सकते हैं. Suppose in case एक suddenly एक बड़ा order आया जो उस particular unit में ही manufacture होता है, तो तब क्या करेंगे, potential problems क्या है, negative effects क्या हो सकता है, do we have some substitute arrangement available with us. ये सब जो analysis होता है, that is done in the opportunity analysis. So this is all about the Kepner-Trego methodology. Now there are different, as I told you, there are different methods of improving quality, or there are different methods suggested and developed by different people. So Six Sigma is also a method which is used in the process of quality improvement. It was developed in 1986 by Motorola company. Sir Bill Smith, there was a person named as Sir Bill Smith. He is known as a father of Six Sigma. So he introduced the quality improvement methodology, and this was first tried in the Motorola company. So that's why Six Sigma is more associated to the Motorola company, because it was the first time that this concept was introduced by the company. It is again a quality improvement method in which different things are used to solve a problem. So Six Sigma is a method of efficiently solving a problem, and by using Six Sigma, the defective products manufactured or the services that are provided, defective services that are provided can be reduced, which will help in improving the customer satisfaction also, and it will also help in improving the revenue, because if the defective products are not there, qualitative products are offered to the customer. So what happens is the customer will repeatedly purchase your products, and this will help in increasing the revenue. Now there are two statistical tools or techniques which are used in Six Sigma. They are DMADV and DMAIC. So the difference between these two we will see in the further slides, but before that let's try to understand what are the characteristics or features of Six Sigma. Now Six Sigma is also a statistical quality control method. Here we are using a statistical tool by the name of standard deviation. Standard deviation एक mathematical tool है which helps in finding out variations या variance जिसको बोलते हैं. So variance is basically non-conformance, मतलब एक particular standard set किया है and वो standard को जब fulfill नहीं होता है, non-conformation होता है, non-performance of वो standard होता है, we call it as variance, or variation is there in the quality output. So in this, as I told you, there are two processes or approaches used, which is called as DMAC and DMADV. So DMAC is define, measure, analyze, improve and control, and DMADV is definition, measurement, analysis, then designing and verify. The difference between these two is this method DMAC this method is used when the product is already there in the market. It is already existing in the market, but somehow the product is not performing up to the mark, and you need to rebuild this product, or you need to make some changes in the product, because of which it will be able to satisfy your customer. And DMADV is a process which is concerned with before the product is being designed, what are things that can be done. So these are the two approaches which are used in Six Sigma. So Six Sigma basically is based on facts and figures, so that's why we call it as fact data based approach. It has certain objectives. The goals or objectives of Six Sigma we will be discussing in the next slide. It is more of fundamental, and it focuses on customer satisfaction. So again, all the methods that we have learned basically focuses on quality improvement and customer satisfaction. So similarly, Six Sigma process is also a process which focuses on customer satisfaction or customer focus. Now this method requires a lot of team participation, and there is a lot of training is also required. So management training is given. There are different levels of people with different expertise who have to be trained, and they will be training the other employees in the organization. So these are the characteristics of Six Sigma. Now the objectives or goals of Six Sigma is basically it helps in removing the defects or reducing the defects. It helps in standardizing the process. It reduces cost. It focuses on improvement, process improvement कैसे कर सकते हैं, and how we can improve the customer satisfaction. Now let's try to understand DMAC and DMADV approach. As I told, DMAC, DMAIC, the difference, if you see, the difference is in the last two alphabets. DMA is common, only IC and DV differ. So DMA IC is define, measure, analyze, improve and control. It is a Six Sigma methodology which attempts to increase the existing process. जो भी product या service है उसमें if it is having some variation, variance अलग है या फिर if it is not up to the mark, that time DMAIC is used. On the other hand, DMADV is define, measure, design, analysis and verify. It is also a Six Sigma method in which before designing a new product or before if we want to make any changes to the current product, then DMADV is applied. So DMAIC is more of a reactive. The product has already been there in the market. We have been doing certain study and we have found out that the product is not meeting the customer expectation. So then the company sets out in a reactive step as a reactive process. Reactive process यानी as a reaction. Company will try to improvise its process or company will try to make some changes because of which it will be able to satisfy the customer. So DMAIC is more of a short term process and it requires limited number of people. It uses more of quantitative data for इम्प्रूव मतलब ये आके डेटा पे लाइक टेबल्स चार्ट्स ऐसे सब क्वांटिटेटिव डेटास को लेकर ये एनालिसिस करके हम प्रोसेस को किस तरीके से इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं इस पे फोकस करता है. ऑन द अदर हैंड DMADV एज आई टोल्ड यू इट इज बिफोर डिजाइनिंग द प्रोसेस और प्रोडक्ट, सो इट इज अ प्रोएक्टिव प्रोसेस. its basic focus is on customer. It is a long term approach and it requires a very large team and it uses a number of qualitative tools. Statistical tools इसमें बहुत लगते हैं जिससे कि errors हम लोग avoid कर सकते हैं and we can bring out a product which satisfies the customer. So DMAIC जो होता है it is implemented in slow and steady process. It is a methodology when the product is already released into the market out of the company. However, there are certain issues in the product and there are certain deviations from the customer demand. That is the reason why DMAIC is introduced. On the other hand, DMADV is used when the product is not built or is about to be built. Currently it is in the designing and planning stage. It can be also used when the product has to be rebuilt and basically you want to bring some evolutionary or revolutionary change in the product. So these are the difference between DMAC, DMAIC and DMADV. Both are approaches which are used in Six Sigma. So in this today's session I have covered two topics, that is Kepner-Trego methodology of problem solving and the Six Sigma concept. In the next session we will be learning some more concepts related to quality management. Till then, stay connected. Thank you.